Hey folks, welcome back. We're kicking off the classical era as Achaemenids here, and we are experimenting with the new Dante beta, which has added food upkeep to units. Now you can't actually see it on the units if I hover over here. Instead, your units are kind of distributed amongst your cities relative to the size of those cities, and you pay food upkeep as if they're population. So you can see I have a minus 54 food from population consumption and minus 30 food from unit consumption. So the more units I build, the more upkeep I'm going to pay. So we are going to position ourselves maybe to go after the Achaemenid Persians here. And I was taking a look at the wonders actually, and I noticed there are still a bunch from, I guess I say a bunch, there are two from the ancient era that are still unclaimed, which is really unusual for this point in the game. And I think what's happening is because the AI likes to sustain a large army, you can see they have really low city population, which directly impacts your influence output. So I don't think they've had enough influence to actually claim wonders at their normal pace. So my intent this game is actually to claim the Pyramid of Giza. I want to save up enough influence to do that. We're currently knocking out Stonehenge, but because I have somewhat low industry in my cities, I do think that getting the pyramids will be quite helpful. Also noticing that the stoneworks here is quite good for me in that city, so I'm going to go ahead and pop that in. I'd also like to get this territory claimed, as well as this one here, secure this area. This area is going to be incredibly important for production for Gnosis, so we want to claim that. So let's get a roll, and get it rolling, I suppose. And first we're going to move the scout up there. So that was actually the player that I was fighting in the end of last episode, so they've finally been knocked out of the game. I also have a scout right here, and the scout's just going to hang back, and I'm going to accumulate some influence. I'm also thinking maybe it's a good idea to just take the city. I don't really want to spend the influence to sign a treaty with it, and a city's a city. I'm at my cap right now, and it'll probably be a little while before I attack the Achaemenids, so I don't want to like be sitting on extra city cap. Okay. So Stonehenge almost done. Let's check how much influence we need. 450, so it'll be another couple turns. There's Stonehenge, so we've got our wonder up. And then technology, we could go for standing army to get Shodalai, or we could get philosophy, gets us city cap, gets us some other stuff. I think we'll start with the top of the line. We're not going to be immediately engaging in any major hostilities with anyone. So I'm going to position some units to take this city here. It is a free city that I don't need to spend influence to get, so I might as well grab it. We're just a touch off being able to claim Pyramid. And we're also under attack here by some spearmen. It's actually not a great position. They have like high ground on all their attacks, so I'm just going to have them back off. And we'll make sure we reinforce them in a little bit. My scouts are basically just going to idle while we wait to claim some territories. There we go, and we have a narrative event. I definitely don't want to pay 1,000 gold. I'll go ahead and get that overproductive. We are sitting on a fair bit of gold here, so I'm wondering if I want to start buying some of these Cyclopean fortresses in here. Also, if there's like, yeah, there's some okay river around here that could help with pop growth. I'll give that another turn. I feel like I should maybe focus on some of my core cities. I might buy this great obelisk just because those obelisks will start to pay off very quickly because of the amount of gold that they can generate. So I bought that obelisk, and then I'm also thinking I need some industry in here. I'm going to be attaching this territory, so maybe actually get the lumberyard started.
Debate.
Excuse me. I got over some COVID a little bit ago. It's like my 5th time having COVID. And of course they attacked me again. Very annoying. And I'm getting a little sick of it, and I had gotten over it. And I am now rebounding again. I've got like a bit of a cough and a headache, so I'm doing my best to ignore it for the purposes of recording this, but I apologize if I have a little bit of a cough here and there. So rhetoric, we could get the extra science for population, or we could go for Shodalai. I think I'm going to go for rhetoric first. I don't quite need the upgraded units yet. And we're also ending some influence to get some of these outposts down. That looks good. Let's combine these units, and we'll send them up that way. And same thing there. Okay. In the meantime, these units are waiting. We also have some things we can buy here with influence. We'll just get those, and then we can get silver on the next run. We also don't have anything to get the iron yet. I also am thinking maybe we want to get like flood irrigation or watermill first before we build the Great Obelisk. We could also start on pyramids, would be quite useful. There's some okay options in here. Man, I can really feel that tickle in my throat right now. I'm thinking, I mean, we're okay on stability here. I'm curious if I can get like a really good placement anywhere. Get me access to yields. There's 13 and 10 there. It's not amazing in this territory. I feel like it might actually be most useful up here. Yeah, 6 and 21. It's pretty good. 10 and 15 is also not bad. I'll take that one, I think. We'll put it in Kerma, and that'll help with its stability. We're just going to go ahead and buy that obelisk, and we're going to start working on pyramids with everyone, because that's going to dramatically reduce the costs of building my additional quarters. Now let's get this army moving. We'll go and take over that territory there. This scout I'm going to position over here. And this one, I don't have enough influence to claim another territory, so we'll just continue to wait. And now we're in a better position to actually fight this battle. Oops. Did not mean to do that. Something like that. There we go. And these are just a bunch of spearmen, so this should really be no issue at all. And we'll just... I'm gonna be pretty casual in how I handle this, I think. I'm not too concerned about my units here. Oh, come on. Okay, we'll just end the turn there. Don't want to get into a position where they can attack me from the high ground, so that's why I didn't play super aggressively. Maybe move like that, and then we can get a rear attack there. We could also maybe get high ground. Can't quite get there. We'll just go for the rear attack, and we'll get a rear attack here as well. Just distribute the damage among my guys. I feel like sometimes Humankind has like random times where the audio seems to go crazy for no reason. I'm gonna turn the master volume down ever so slightly. Hopefully that's not too quiet for y'all. Alright. Let's move these guys into position. Let's... Oh, they actually can't start the siege. We'll start the siege from here. This will farm up a little bit of progress for our militarist and expansionist era stars as well. And we're going to start making those high ground attacks. We actually don't want them on river. I don't know why I left them deployed there. And otherwise, we're just going to let them attack me. Okay. Let's move that guy down. We'll move a new high health unit up there. Let's move them into the city. I am on low ground here, but now that they no longer have the effect from being behind fortification, it kind of cancels out. There we go, and they'll probably die as well. Alright, easy peasy. So now we have this new city, which gets us access to more great obelisks. Not sure why it recommends going right there. I'm gonna go right there. Let's see. There's very little industry in the city, so we're going to have to get the industry going. We could maybe attach up here. That would get it some nice river. I think I'm just going to do that straight out. That'll also get me a little bit of population to work with. Okay. Let's buy the pottery workshop. I'm just going to buy that great obelisk as well. And then we can get a half-decent maker's quarter in there. We'll start working on... Actually, I think I'm going to put the great obelisk right here, because that could be a pretty good farmer's quarter later, potentially. Actually, you know what? That one might be better. Maybe not. Yeah, we'll put it right there. It's fine. And what else? I am going to want the lumberyard. I'm going to want stoneworks. We'll just let it finish up this queue. Maybe we'll just help with the pyramids quickly. Ooh, I can almost get that in one turn. Is there any other workers I can move around? No. Oh, that's really unfortunate. Maybe there's a, like an industry constructible that I can buy out that would get me there. Like if I do that, yeah, that'll get me down to 1 turn. I will take that. Got the diseased effect because I didn't want to pay that 1,000 gold earlier. Really not that big of a deal. Okay, and here, this is going to be an industry attachment for Yolkos. So we are going to put it on a high industry area. And up here, we're going to wait because we want to claim this territory next because that has copper and iron. Actually, we were attacked here. I'm going to make that demand and see what they do because they're kind of my next target. Okay, let's move these units over. And then Yolkos. I feel really bad about my industry right now. They're hunting me down in my own territory because they are expansionists. Okay. So they're just refusing my demands. You can get Swift. I'll go for Swift. I do like having the extra movement. Maybe we can intercept that horseman. Over here, probably be waiting a little bit. I'd like to attach up here, actually, with my next batch of influence. Or maybe I could attach this one once it comes up. I just need to get industry rolling a little bit better than it already is in some of these cities. Let's get... Yeah, let's get our watermill and our artificial reservoirs. That'll take a little bit. Very long build times right now. Part of that is terrain, and part of that is because of the changes. We're going to pick up standing army. And let's... I don't know if it matters where I put it in this territory. Let's go ahead and just claim right there. Okay. We have some porcelain we can build, and not really enough to attach anything. Obelisk is coming. I'm going to just buy that. I want to get this city going as soon as possible. Watermill we're going to need. We're going to need the forge. We're going to need the library. And that's definitely not where I'm going to want Maker's Quarters. I suppose once I get this territory, I'll probably be building Maker's Quarters up there. So, next up, maybe go for craftsmanship just to improve my industry output. Nothing else on the tech tree is really of particular import. I am going to buy that Maker's Quarter just so this can start scaling a little more effectively. And probably get the forge as well, since that is going to get me the most bang for my buck there. And let's take a look at getting another Maker's Quarter. Another 12 right there sounds great to me. I'll just buy that obelisk out. And these units probably going to position in this direction to... Oh, okay. That is precisely what I was worried about. I'm actually thinking maybe I go ahead and get fortifications just in case I need that. I'm also probably going to need more units than I actually have. I'm not confident that these units are going to be able to deal with the Achaemenids by themselves. So maybe I get the barracks in. Let's add that to the queue. We'll put it right behind the watermill. And actually, I think these scouts can probably come back and we can disband them for another pop. Maybe I do something like this as well. Food isn't that important in that city right now. I have most of my specialist slots filled. So I don't need to worry about my farmers quite as much. Pretty much done with the Cyclopean Fortress there, so let's just buy that out. I'm also realizing I haven't used my power investor. I'm going to go ahead and do that and get a little bit of free money. Gives the brown player some money too, but I'm not worried about that. Let's get our great obelisks going. See, that spot is going to be nice for like a farmer's quarter because of the amount of river there. So why are my yields not showing? Didn't realize I had turned that off at some point. So we're going to put the great obelisk there, and we'll put the great obelisk right there. Because we can get some nice like maker's quarters around the mountains, and that'll be a good addition to this city here. And iron, I'm just going to buy the iron so we have the iron access. And we'll also get some flood irrigation in the queue here. This city is just going to spend some time catching up, basically. Okay. Here we can attach. I'm going to do that. That'll get us another great obelisk as well, so let's get that in. And then we can start getting some maker's quarters, maybe. Probably probably use this area. Debating where to actually put this great obelisk. Might delay on that until I've built another Maker's Quarter, because if I build one right here, then I can slap a great obelisk right in here, and I'd rather lose 2 food than 3 industry. Okay, I still have no visibility on their units. Okay, I see, I see. And that's actually a really annoying position. I have no way to get there. Huh. That was really unfortunate. I didn't realize that they could, like, that was totally blocked off for my access. Well, there's nothing I can really do about this at the moment, so I'm just gonna have to manually resolve and just try to survive, basically. These guys are going to be pretty beat up by the end of this. The thing with the AI is that they're going to hyper-focus on trying to kill the flag. And right here, I can just abandon that spot right now because they're not even trying to get in it. I just need these guys to survive a few rounds, basically. Let's pull those guys out, move a new unit onto the flag there. Let's get ourselves a little bit of adjacency on this unit, and we'll just defend one more time. And then next round, I should have enough movement that I can maybe pull these units in. Actually, it's not quite enough to get there. Wow, why do they have to go... Oh, because I'm getting blocked by this stupid envoy. I'm really hoping that envoy moves. If the AI is smart, they will not move. Okay, they're letting me in. Probably bring the larger army in. Don't really care that I've lost some population here. Let's just continue blocking until we can get these units actually into a position to do things. And we'll put our archers in a spot where we can actually fire back at our opponent here. There we go. Okay, now they've got reinforcements. These units are going to have to go the long way around in order to reinforce, I think. Actually, no, because I brought all my units in, so that's no longer my reinforcement zone. So all good here. I can bring the rest of my Shodalai in. And let's start pulling some of these units back, especially that low health one. I don't want to lose pop if it's not absolutely necessary to do so. Over here, we can go ahead and get some high ground. Let's hit those immortals. I was hoping I could maybe get lucky and kill them, because this is a guaranteed kill when they attack me. And Shodalai, they're going to move in. We'll start getting some adjacency bonuses. We'll go ahead and make that attack as well as that one, just to clear up a little bit of the battlefield. Okay. As far as tech goes, so we got fortifications. Let's go into craftsmanship. And then army wages, we'll take the extra stability on city that you occupy. And we might reduce the cost of signing treaties, because I would like to potentially like sign this one down here, or maybe this one. I'd prefer that one disappear, because I'd like to attach that to Iolkos eventually. So let's establish contact here, and we can start investing some money and influence in order to get that affinity up. Alright, so they've positioned their archers in very poor positions here. Alright, this should be a rout now. So now we're just going to start focus firing. Let's hit the Immortals, just because the Immortals are much more dangerous defensive units, so I want them out of the picture when I actually turn around to attack my opponents. The Barracks is finishing up, and I think I'm just going to buy that. I can get 42 food there. There's so many things that I want in this city, but I think I need to invest in at least one army. I actually have very little fire support in my army right now, so I think I'm going to go double archer. Let's deploy like right here, just in case I need to reinforce for that siege. And also buy that iron out, maybe? Oh, no, because it's in the combat zone, so I'll have to wait there. So waiting on a unit. I don't think I'm going to need that army, so I will not pull them in. And let's start making our melee attacks on these horsemen here. Those will blast them as well, and we can knock those immortals out. Don't actually want to go out of fortifications because that's when they'll be able to actually start using horsemen. Not interested in allowing them to use their mobility. Instead, we're just going to take our attacks from the city here. Okay, and then we'll do that. And now we can just corner this one, so they won't be able to get their charge bonus or any high ground bonuses or anything like that. We should have moved one more unit in. There we go. So we'll wrap that up on the next turn. All right, this scouts. Let's make sure we get that lead claimed. We have a harbor we can purchase. That harbor doesn't seem very important. Irma working on the watermill. And here... Okay. Let's buy those reservoirs, because it's going to be very inexpensive to finish. Get a nice little archer attack. Move blah, 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 blah. Move those units in, and then we can tap out the horsemen. Okay, great. So nice opening battle of this war. I was kind of surprised they declared war on me. Maybe they have more units than I actually expect. There's a part of me that wants to build another set of units. And, like, spawn them right there, probably. Actually, let's go for another double archer. I feel like Shodalai are a pretty strong front line. If I look at the terrain over here, Zapata will actually be quite hard to attack because this is going uphill. So it's going to be really hard to attack from, like, say, this direction up here. So I am going to need a lot of indirect fire. Maybe I could come around this way and make use of this ridge line. That might have to be my approach. Okay. Make sure we get that iron before I forget. But also take a look if there are any more wonders available. Yeah, I might be interested in Church of Our Lady just to kind of secure my religious presence. Excuse me. And let's buy that Maker's Quarter. It's 30 there. Actually still can't put anything there for some reason. Feels a little odd. We'll just get the adjacency to the porcelain there. No big deal. And Stoneworks is also good. Let's get that in. Forge is good. Let's get that in. And then maybe start adding a little bit of stability back in the city. Irma is now working on our unique stuff. We also need a forge. I'm just going to one turn that really quickly. Okay, and we can start getting our lead as well. How much is Church of Our Lady? 1,050. Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't take too long to save that much, so maybe we'll give it a shot. Okay, next we're going to go for... I guess we could get the extra unit slot, and maybe Ballista will be useful, whereas I'm not going to use anything in Imperial Power right away, so let's actually go for Ballista. Never know if I'm actually going to need to siege this city. So these units are going to creep along up this way. In here, I might actually buy another unit. Ooh, hello. Who's that? Oh, funny, they have some citizens there. Let's just go for an archer, just so we have some indirects. And we'll fill up the unit slots there, and we have 2 full armies here, so I'm feeling pretty okay. One random horseman running around there. Okay, and we can attach here. My industry and Gnosis is really bad right now. So I'm going to attach here, and that'll get the number of industry slots I have up. It will also give me the option of building some much better Maker's Quarters. So I can get like 18 there, I can get 18 there. Significantly better than the options I had before. I'm going to deprioritize some of these just because they don't feel as important right now. And yeah, we can get a Great Obelisk in there that doesn't feel too bad. Okay. Patriotic or overproductive. We'll take the extra industry. We're not really building much in the way of actual units right now, so the discount doesn't really affect me. Go ahead and make this attack here, since we've kind of caught them out. Very least we can get them to retreat. We'll have the archer make our way over and join forces. And then we have another attack we can make right here. Okay, and we got another retreat. Up here, let's join this battle and finally kill this stupid horseman that's running around. Pull them back. Not my favorite setup here. Let's do something like that. Okay. Alright, this should be pretty easy to knock these horsemen out. Gonna go up here so they're no longer on the river. And there we go. Okay. Buy the lead, get a little bit of extra output from our researchers. And these units will also push forward as well. A little dangerous because I can't see anything. Here, we're almost done with the Maker's Quarter. I'm just going to buy that. And let's put everyone on industry for a moment. Thinking maybe we get an agriculture quarter. Get 14 food there, which isn't too bad. We do want to continue to grow. I'm actually going to put one person on food just so we get another pop next turn. Here, we're going to want food as well. I think we slide that into our build. And Kerma... feel like it's in an okay position as is. I should also maybe start building some of the obelisks. I haven't built any yet. Yeah, I'd be fine with that. Let's actually just crank that out really quickly. I'm going to distribute that cost. This is actually less important of a city. I need Kerma to catch up a little bit because I was building so many of the Cyclopean fortresses at the start of the era. So that'll help with my stability and also help with the security of my religion. And let's push forward here. I'm hoping that is an army that just retreated. Let's bypass them a little bit like that. We'll keep moving that archer up. Okay, this is actually a pretty big force here. I don't know if I want to make that attack, actually. What does that cover? That would cover my city. So what I could do, actually, is buy a couple units. Because now, when I attack here, they'll be included in the combat, because they're in my zone. So I think we're going to make this attack, because I think this is my best opportunity to not have to deal with the Immortals on a bunch of, like, potential high ground and inside fortifications, which is where they're really dangerous. Here, I am exclusively going to position on high ground, even if it is a river. I want no opportunity for the AI to actually make use of the bonuses that the Immortals get. And we are going to try to focus on the Immortals pretty much exclusively. Here, these guys are on river. We're going to make those attacks. Here, yeah, let's try to get these citizens off the field here. And then we can claim this high ground position. And same thing right here, where we can make high ground attack on these horsemen. Can also block these units from coming in for a turn. We're not really in a position to deal with them right now. How many units do they actually have on the field? Right, I'm attacking, so I could play really aggressively here and try to get the flag, which I think I'm going to do, because I have a pretty big line of infantry here. I don't think they have a realistic way up there. They'd have to go a really long way around. Let's ditch this side of the field a little bit. Okay, some archers in some terrain that I can't see. We want to try to knock those out this turn if we can. I think there's one right here. Should be pretty easy to get to. Okay. Those horsemen are very high combat strength, so let's hit them to knock them out. Let's go here, and let's move them back, them forward. Now we'll have max combat strength from adjacency. Here, let's do the same thing. Let's get some extra adjacency. I'll take that attack first. Move here. Oh, or we can move here. Make some high ground attacks down onto these Immortals. And actually, I can get the archers there, which is a nice little bonus. And we'll take that attack on those Immortals as well. Actually, one thing I could have done is, if I played slightly less aggressively, I could have baited them into bringing that last army in as a reinforcement. Going to disband this scout, maybe? Suppose there's still some territories out here that might be worth claiming. Let's send them in that direction. Again, let's put everyone on industry here. Conquered empires, I'm going to grab the war support after winning battle, but Church of Our Lady's actually been claimed by the Garamantes, which is kind of unfortunate. Maybe I get Pyramid of the Sun. I mean, that gives me a little extra faith. It's not a bad wonder, and maybe it's even better now with the changes to food. Okay. These units are all going to push forward. I think after knocking that army out, we want to be pretty aggressive here. I'm actually just going to plop this down in a random location, just so I can spend gold to heal my units. Because if I plopped it with another unit, then I would actually lose their movement, right? Which I obviously do not want. Oh man, another massive battle. What do they have? Okay. This one will be a little bit more challenging. I don't have great high ground terrain like I did last time. I think this is fine. They have a few archers, including some Tassadi archers. But I don't think the Immortals are great in this terrain. This is actually locking up their city as well. Where is my flag in this battle? It's down here. Weird position for a flag. But this is very defensible, I guess, if they have to push all the way over here. We can put the archers up on the high ground, kind of like that. Let's deploy some units kind of in the background here. It's going to stay off the river where we can. So as in some places, I can't really avoid it. Yeah, let's just play this very defensively and let them come to us. Actually, they're going to have high ground right there, which I don't love. Okay, so they're kind of skirting around down this way, so I can make this very similar to my battle from last game. Or from, last turn, not last game. Okay, I see some attacks coming through. That's nothing too bad. Okay, let's start claiming that high ground there. Let's get a little adjacency. Should be able to knock these swordsmen out? Not quite. Now we should be able to get it. So let's try to take a peek at what's actually out here. Okay. Well, we can secure the high ground against these units. I have multiple archer shots available. I get here, yeah, I can get one more archer involved. Get another archer involved. This guy, I'm just going to have to get him in a position to use him next turn. Make a high ground attack there. Make a high ground attack there. Nothing I can do about that archer this turn. Yeah, I think that's about the most I can do. Yeah, this is perfect if they position their archers like this. The AI love moving their archers like this for some reason. Should be really easy to clean these archers up now. Okay. Make that attack. Make that attack. Let's... Can they hit anyone? No. Okay, I'm gonna pull that unit back here. I'd like to be able to get to these archers here. Let's hit those swords. Let's hit those swords. We can attack like that. That would actually give those immortals high ground though, which I don't love. It might have been a mistake to attack with this archer this turn. I also can't let them attack me from this position, because that is downhill. So, what I'll need to do... Not sure why this guy can't They move anywhere. I guess because of the river. I guess if we move like that. Do something like this. Okay. And now, can anyone get here? Okay, I can get that archer involved. I think I can get this archer involved. Go for the one that's on the river since it has lower combat strength. Not much I can do with this archer though. Use this one, I can make an attack here. And if I go here, I can move this archer up and also get an attack in. Okay, well, they've moved their archer into a really vulnerable location. Oh my god, they have 1,000,000 archers. Oh no, that's me. Okay, that was a bit of an error on my part. I was legit worried for a second with all those archers, because that's a lot of indirect fire. But thankfully, I was looking at my own screen there. Okay. So, nice, easy kill on those archers here. And now we just want to plink at the immortals that are on the river. I'm going to back this guy up. I want to be able to take those guys out. Okay. Interesting. So what I'll do is hit those archers. Let's attack uphill. Couldn't quite get them. You can take those immortals down. Let's move like this. And then we can move these guys here, I guess. And we can get the archers on the river, and that'll kind of let them move more effectively next turn. And these archers we can pull up like that to hit those immortals. Yeah, I knew they were going to get that high ground attack. Very annoying. Okay, these guys are 3 stars now. I really don't want to lose them if I can avoid it. Do they have any archers left? They don't. They have no range units, so I can pull them back here and be relatively safe. Just start filling this up with high combat strength units. Can push that guy forward 1. I can't hit anyone from here. Neither can they. These have 28 combat strength, so I think I'm going to target those since those are the lowest CS. And then we can move here. I do make myself vulnerable, but this way I can get an archer involved and get this unit in a position to actually be usable next turn. Right here has the lowest combat strength differential. Same with that one, so we'll make those attacks. Okay. And I don't think I want to make those attacks. I think that's a little too much damage on my end. Very curious where the rest of their units actually are. Man, they just do not want to go down. Let's get this guy over here. We can move this archer forward. Hopefully knock them out. Okay. So there's nothing down there. I have no idea where the rest of their units are. There's some there. Just gonna start moving the rest of my units up. Pretty low likelihood of anything happening to them, given the number of units I've already destroyed. Just have a scout kind of go down there. And I think that's mostly everyone. Get them on the river. Okay. Kind of odd terrain to actually be fighting in. Kind of challenging. Okay. Could get a high ground attack here. I could actually do is go down here, then go up here. That doesn't give me a rear attack. And I'm not sure why. I think, right? I should have a rear attack there. That's weird. Well, I lost out on some free combat strength for some reason. get off the river with them. Need to plonk them onto the river. Just move these archers as far forward as they can go. Start hitting these immortals. There we go. Yeah, really not loving this river system right now. Great for many other things. Not great when you're trying to defend this area. I mean, in some ways it is, but not if you want to play an aggressive defense. The thing is that they're now, using their main cities to make reinforcements, so in some ways this actually makes my attempt at a siege harder, even though I am currently knocking out multiple of their units. Oh, we have multiple treaties available with this org here. Get science collaboration, I could get profit sharing. Let's get the science collaboration. I do have pretty low science right now. And Pyramid is still available if I wanted to claim it. I think I'll probably wait for the next era, because there are some really good wonders in the medieval era. Okay. Archers, we'll get them in position. Yeah, I don't think there's anything they can do about archers over in this direction. Do something like that. Then we can just start whacking these immortals right here. And I'm going to pull that guy back because he's pretty low health. Move that guy up. I'd like to be in a position that I could kill him this turn. As if I get one more unit adjacent, I have a decent shot. Let's try it. Okay, really nice. Archer, push forward. Some of these low health units can move forward as well. I don't want to make them too vulnerable. I'm actually fine with holding this position because they have no way to get high ground on me here. Whereas I can potentially get high ground on them if they keep moving their units into that silly position there. Let's see. Let's move these units in. Another set of high health units. And I'm going to hit the horsemen a couple times and do 1 damage with one of my archers. Okay, finally got them out. Now we just have to worry about these immortals, and then it's a pretty easy clean up from there. Okay. Yeah, there's the swords. So this should be pretty straightforward at this point. Let's knock these immortals out. Start hitting these swordsmen. Get our high ground attack. Then we'll start moving in on these envoys. Make sure we get some combat adjacency bonuses here. And we'll plink. Plink. And then hopefully we have enough damage to knock them out. There we go. Alright. And I am exclusively in my own territory, so I will get a turn of healing here. And then Tech will get Imperial Power to set us up for the next era. Looks like no one has been chosen from Medieval yet. Actually, that might not be true, because I have exclusive cultures turned off, so I can't make that claim. Let me check. Okay, one player is in Era 3, but they're not on my continent. Okay, we could claim a wonder. But I think, like I said, I'm going to wait until Medieval, because there are some really good Medieval wonders, and influence is kind of a pain to come by when you have limited population. Let's move all these units into position. Let's finally link these units up. Here, I think I'm fine with them hanging back and healing, whereas these ones I'm going to pay to heal. Okay, and I might actually just drop this outpost down quick, because I want to get that salt. See if there's a better position. Not really. I'm just going to leave the outpost there. Now we can actually go for a proper assault here. They actually have more units in here than I realized. They only have one archer, though, so I think I can just go straight in for a fight. Position our archers kind of along the ridge line up here. Actually, we can kind of do the same on this side as well. Alright, let's see how this goes. Yeah, we can get some really nice archer locations here. Okay, these guys are outside of fortifications, so we'll hit them first. And we'll probably not make any melee attacks. We have so many archers that I don't feel like we actually need to play that aggressively. Okay. Archers, archers. Archers. And here. Come on. Okay, now that we can knock those horsemen out, though, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Up in the city there. Can only really file one unit at a time through here. Same on this side. Okay, some archers on the flag right now. Also going to need to work on these citizens. I'm going to move these units there, just so I can get another set of units actually in the zone here. And move these units into a better position to attack their archers. And then, yeah, I can knock them out in one hit there. And potential to kill those citizens, can't quite get them. Knock those immortals out, let's get in there. Okay, so we won't win the combat this round, or this turn, but we will on the next turn. These units are just hanging out and healing. Now, I could attach right here, and that would get me another Great Obelisk, which is an objective for me this era, is to get as many of those as possible. Public Fountain would be nice, as would additional industry, because I am very slow at producing things in this city. Gnosis, I'm just going to buy that out. Let's put a couple on industry, let's put a couple on money. How am I doing on my money stars? Not great. I'd actually probably locate a few people off science onto generating money. I'm very low on food in here. Let's snag that Great Obelisk quickly. And what else do I need? Suppose I need food. I'm working on flood irrigation. I'm just going to buy that, and then, yeah, I can get 21 food right there, which is really, really nice. Ooh, nice little pickup there. I'll take it. And anything else that I want in here? I'm going to make them a client state eventually. Hopefully. See if anyone's made progress on this one. Not really. Are they? Yeah, they're disappearing soon, so I should actually send my scout up that way to claim that territory. Alright. Let's focus on those citizens here. I'm actually going to pull that unit back, because they're kind of at risk of getting killed by the immortals. We'll attack the citizens, and then we'll focus fire on the immortals with our archers. Can I actually get there? I can. Get a really nice attack there from high ground. And I'm just going to make that attack just to make sure that I can actually win this. Okay, and they have some reinforcements, that's fine. These units got dangerously low. They should be okay. Because what we can do, we can move like that. We can move on the flag there. Actually, maybe they're not okay. I was thinking I could get up to that location, but I apparently cannot. Let's see if we can just do enough damage with these archers here. Something like this. That way all of them can hit those immortals. Yeah, it's not quite enough. Give it a little combat strength here. And I'm going to make that attack on the horseman just to try to clean that up. Oh, and there are some units back here now, too. Okay. Just do something like that. I'm not going to make that attack. We're camping on the flag right now, so all we need to do is hold this position in order to win. Man, they have even more reinforcements coming in now. Would really like to take this city off them, so I'm not going to back down until I have actually taken the city. I really need to clean these 2 units up right here, though. And my Shodalai are taking a good bit of damage there. Oh, and there's a chariot there now. Okay. Man, these Pathfinder AI are very annoying. They have so much movement, they just kind of zip around the map. Okay. So we cleaned that one up. We can get a rear attack on those horsemen. Let's bring them in. These guys are actually very low risk right now because there's no way for them to get to that location. So I'm just going to make those attacks and clean that up so there's no funny business. Over here, let's pull that archer back to a position they can hit something. Then we can make that attack on the chariot there. Here. I guess we have to pull that archer back because they'll get hit by the immortals next turn, but they won't actually be able to shoot anyone. And then down here, we can actually fully claim this high ground. Oh, or not. Mistake on my part. Well, those are just spearmen, though, so we can just one-shot those. No big deal. Thought those were immortals. I also, they can't ignore zone of control against Shodalai. Oh, they have archers there. Oh. Okay, I didn't think they could get around that way. That's a bummer. Well, I only lost 1 unit, though, so it's not that big of a deal. Now, the question is, do I push for more? This is probably their second best city. I would really like to get their main city right here. But on the other hand, you know, if I wait too long to peace out, I won't be able to build the Achaemenids' unique quarter. Oh, I also have the religious tolerance civic available. I could grab open-minded this game for the extra influence. Might be helpful. And I could switch to religious hostility later. I'm not struggling with faith right now, so I am going to grab open-minded just to increase my influence a little bit. And I do think I'm actually going to ask for surrender here, just because I'm nearing the end of the age. And I want to give enough time for the city to get some great obelisks, because the great obelisks are really high-value quarters. And, man, having them in with the Satrap's Palace looks pretty good. Okay. Let's get people on industry. Oh, man, we don't even have, like, a pottery workshop in here. Brutal. What do we have for industry? Very little. I'm just going to have to buy things out in here, I think. So we'll let our other cities generate some money for us, and then we can start buying some things. Could grab profit sharing if we wanted. Let me check my era stars. We're a decent bit away from the gold. Let's grab profit sharing. That'll just help us a fair bit. One thing I hadn't considered actually is because my population is going to be lower than it would otherwise. This kind of nerfs the Achaemenids as well, right? Because what is it? Unless I'm misremembering what the feature is. Oh, right, it's per territory under religion's influence, so never mind, that's totally fine. Okay. Religious minorities, I feel like it doesn't do anything I care about. It's for non-state religion followers, so we're not going to have any of those. And we'll position our armies in such a way that we can deal with this pink player again in the next era. Maybe not even in the next era, which is once we build up some more war supports. Okay, great obelisk. Tech for an outpost is 2 turns. There's a scientist star. Surprised that I don't have the merchant stars yet. Growth stars definitely feel a lot harder to get now. Have I even built an embassy? I haven't. It's a good amount of influence there. There's a little bit of food, but I think that's fine. Let's get the embassy. I'm gonna hold my money, because I need that for other things. And here, let's get a few of the basics, and then we can get some really nice maker's quarters. We can get some nice farmer's quarters. Okay, that'll do in the queue for now. And let's buy that obelisk in Depata as well. Then we just need one more. And hopefully we can get all the era stars that we need. Dude, what does this wonder do? Reduce population consumption, reduce unit consumption on city. Yeah. And it's growing at a pretty slow pace right now. We might want the granary in here. We don't have great food tiles. I guess these ones are okay in here. Alright, and then we finally have our second religious tenant. Fear Not False Witness has already been taken. Thankfully for us, Give Alms is what we want, given that we're playing as the Achaemenids. 5 stability on Garrison is also a good one, but we did take Be Virtuous as Water for our first tenant, so I think we're going to take Give Alms for this one, and that'll increase our money generation a pretty good bit there. You can see I guess I'm getting +7 from Give Alms there, +5. I don't know why that says +7. Oh, because this is a religious district, right? So the Great Obelisk actually benefits. It's a religious district, so it's benefiting from the +2 money on religious district. The Great Obelisk gets +7 in total when you take that one. I'm good with diplomatic cooperation. I've literally not generated like any leverage this era at all. I've totally ignored it. Excuse me. And I could attach another territory. Like if I attach right here, that's a better spot. So if I attach right here, that would let me get another Great Obelisk, right? Which I want as many as I can possibly get. I'm just going to buy that. Take a look at our era stars here. Yeah, I think we're going to be good on the 3 money stars. Okay, sus is almost gone. Now we can just slide right in there. And then tech, we'll start working on mounted warfare. All good on the merchant stars. I don't think there's any way we're really getting those growth stars. It seems just a little far off. I'd have to be really close on a lot of my cities. How many more do I need? I mean, maybe possible, right? Because I can get one there, one there, one there, one there. We're not really close here. But I could potentially be growing on some outposts. If I get Carver, no. Yeah, it seems unlikely I'm going to get the growth stars in a reasonable amount of time, so maybe I should be looking at going up to the next era here. Make sure we get the food market and the customs farm. Should also be looking at what there's available for trade, because I have not traded at all, basically. So the ebony feels like would be pretty good for me. Incense, I mean, maybe. Papyrus, extra science wouldn't be too bad. Man, the way they value some of these is pretty outrageous. Okay, so let's get the ones that get me money, I guess. Pyramid of the Sun's still available, feels kind of weird. But I'm going to hold on to it until I see what's available in the medieval era. Alright. Anything else that I need to do here? I'm 500 away, basically, from that. I guess 2 turns for another aesthete star, while I still have tech to research. I think that makes sense to wait for that. Click on my religious influence. I could, like, forward build the obelisk of the gods over here, and that would continue to push my religion and increase the amount of money that I'm making. Let's see. A lot of money on the food market. I think we just need a little bit more industry in here. So we'll fill that in. Yokos. Just animal barns. Let's put some people on industry there. Get another couple makers' quarters. Burma is doing okay. Guess we'll want animal barns there as well. Knowledge authorities, don't need to worry about that one right now. Would like to get the extra war support after winning a battle, so I think I am going to grab that. Okay, and we'll end the turn. There's my aesthete star. I would need 4 pop in order to get that growth star, which I will get if I wait one more turn. Oh, freebie civic osmosis here. The +2 influence on emblematic district is one I had meant to change. However, that's also going to reduce my faith output quite a bit. So what I'm going to do is cancel open-minded and grab religious hostility to supplement my faith, because I can't afford to kind of lose the religious pressure war just because the Great Obelisk scales up so much from having a good, solid religion. Okay. Gnosis. What do I actually need in here? Charcoal kiln? No. Probably just some more maker's quarters. I want to get some adjacent ones because that's what benefits the most from the charcoal kiln, as well as some of the later infrastructure. And then here, we're pretty low on stability. Already built the stability infrastructure, so let's get some of this other infrastructure in here that will help me build things faster for everyone on industry. We have cultural blessing. This doesn't influence the main plaza or administrative center created by independent people. That feels a little different than it used to be. This will net me more overall, I think, since that is specific to independent people. Yeah. And there is the agrarian star. Okay, pretty good. I'm happy with that outcome. Turn 83, not bad. Interestingly, although my population is lower, I don't feel like the pace of my era star progression is actually that much different than it would normally be. I would be a little bit faster with the Achaemenids typically, I feel like. But, okay, they fixed the Teutons. Interesting choice. I got a little distracted from my thoughts there, and then they haven't picked anyone yet. So I'm going to have to think about who I want to take for my next one here. I don't really have a strong preference. I may be interested in playing the English. I think the Stronghold plus the Longbows would be really good. It's been a long time since I played the Mississippians as well. Could be okay, actually, given the amount of river that I have. Yes, yeah, there's a river system over here as well. Yeah, I think I'll probably have to think about it a little bit. I don't have a strong preference at the moment. I just want to maybe sit with it for a minute. Yeah, I mean, I definitely would benefit from more food output in some of these cities to fill up some of these specialist slots. And the, Stronghold is a pretty nice district, and the Longbow is one of the best units in the medieval era. Not a great counter to the Teutons. Probably be more like the Aztecs if I wanted to, directly counter them, just for the extra land movement speed. Or, I mean, the Ghanaians have the Maharis, which are anti-cav units, but not interested in that. I don't have enough trade for that to be worth it. Yeah, let me think about it for a little bit. I could even, I could even try something like the Mongols. So the hordes don't actually use food anymore. So I shouldn't say anymore. They don't use food, period, right, with the change. So things like the Huns and the Mongol horde units, you basically have unlimited capacity to spam them as long as you have the outpost who supports purchasing those units, because they're not going to impact the food consumption of your cities. So I'd be curious to see how much of an impact that actually makes in terms of my ability to conquer things. Now, the statue of Zeus down there would be nice to have that, actually. But yeah, I'll have to think about it. Mongols are one I'm interested in trying now, but I'm not sure this is quite the game I want to play them in. I have maybe some other ideas for them. So I'm going to just take a moment and think about what culture I actually want to play for the medieval. So thank you for tuning into this one. It's my very low population game. Those Gnosis and Yilkos are doing okay, but some of my periphery cities still feel quite small. guess that's the impact of the food changes. So I'm curious to see how this is going to impact the rest of the game going forward. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you soon.